Hey everybody, it's Jeremy. I'm going to do a quick review of the Silver Surfer Annual #1, and you'll have to please forgive me on this. I know this book came out a little while ago, but I'm catching up on my comics because I had to go on a let's just call it a work-related business trip. So I was out of the loop for a while. This is one of the things that came out while I was gone. And I was kind of interested in it because I wanted a good jumping in point to Silver Surfer because I've never really been that huge of a Silver Surfer fan. And that's for reasons of my own personal prejudice. It's because I talked to Zachary a little bit last night and we kind of share the same opinion that So at one point in time, I was an aspiring comic book artist. And I always found the Silver Surfer to be very intimidating, not so much of his physical form or the proportions to the character. He pretty much has basic superhero proportions, but it's this level of detail and actually making him look shiny on the page from an inker or a colorist's point of view that just seemed really, really difficult, and it seemed like it was something that I could never actually accomplish. So that being said, I wanted to jump into this. I saw this at the store and automatically I was like, whoa. This cover I think is ridiculously cool. You've got the Surfer in a really wicked dynamic action pose with Galactus in the back, and you've got some fire, and you see the stars in the background and everything, and it's just like I said, I'm gushing over it, but it's a super, super cool cover. Interior art. So we open this up, and sorry, these super glossy pages that we've been getting are kind of hard to transfer, or they don't look really well on my current recording setup, but that's going to get better soon, trust me. We get into this, and I can't really, I would say spoiler alert, but if you know the Silver Surfer story, there's no spoilers to it. He is the herald of said Galactus. He goes and he scouts out planets for Galactus to consume because his hunger is insatiable. And the trade-off is that if he goes and he does this job for Galactus, then his home planet will not be consumed. So, that's that's the story and the entirety of this entire book. Now, what I was going to talk about the interior art, like I said, night and day between the dynamic poses and the level of detail on the cover versus what you get in the actual book. Look at that. I don't even know what that is. So there's some internal monologue from the Surfer, and like I said, this is just like his story. I have to do this because I hunger. And then, so he's going around and he's looking for planets, and he sees these. He's conflicted because planets depicted like right here and right here are full of like good people who don't really mean anybody any harm. There's the Groots right there. And so he's like, I need to find a planet that's full of people that suck. Because if Galactus is going to eat something, might as well be a planet of people that suck. And then he talks about, let's see. There is an energy pulsing under the surface that practically strums like music. And then there's some like weird musical notes there. Like, we couldn't get what we needed from the dialogue. So they had to show us musical notes to drive that home, which is, I don't know. I kind of laughed when I saw it. And also, speaking of laugh when I saw it, this looks like the backside of Dr. Manhattan. Honestly, it doesn't look like the Surfer. And when I was going through this, I saw so many panels of him and just, okay, so here's another. So he finds this planet that's got this like insectoid, like warlike race, and that's all they do is they just thraka and scree all over each other, and they consume and they kill. So he's like, well, screw it. If he's gonna consume something, it might as well be this planet of beings that suck. And there's another one right there. That's, you know what? Hang on. Let me fix this real quick. Let me just put a circle and a dot. Okay. So now, I just fixed this panel. This is a perfectly good panel from Watchmen. There's Dr. Manhattan right there. You know what? Let's just keep this trend going. Every time I see the face of a blue Silver Surfer. We're just going to go ahead and add that to it. So then we get some really, another page of boring panels here. Perfect squares with nothing really jumping out of one panel or into another or something like that. So anyway, Surfer gets to this planet, and then he's like, so I'm going to identify this one, and all of a sudden, zap, he gets hit by an unseen weapon, and then he gets up, and he's like, no, I'm the Silver Surfer, and then he starts wrecking shop on these beings, right? And then all of a sudden, wham, crash, Surfer's down again. Wait, was there any blue? No, that was actually, it's not, it's like a super light shade of blue. It's like, he looks more like Bobby Drake. He looks more like Iceman here than he does the Silver Surfer. So we'll leave that one alone. So he gets hit by this unseen weapon. Look, there's another one. That is a perfect shade of blue for freaking Dr. Manhattan. What the, anyway. So they battle. He cracks a couple dudes with his board. And then he gets held captive. And yeah. Anyway, it's basic stuff. The story is not compelling. Let me hang on. Let me skip a couple panels. That way I don't get a trademark strike on me. So we'll skip that because nothing actually happens. Here we go. We're back at it. We get this 2-page spread right here that is some of the most uninspired landscaping that I have ever seen. Right there. And there he is. You know what? He's pretty good. Let me fix this one. Go ahead. That's about right. Just go ahead and fix that. Yep. And we'll skip some more crap that doesn't matter. And then he has a confrontation with Galactus. We'll skip some of that because it's crap. So anyway, it just gets to the point. Oh, look, there's another straight up blue one. Yeah, it's kind of far away. We'll add that there. Okay, yep, that looks much better. We'll just assume that this is an additional tale from Dr. Manhattan, I guess. So yeah, he comes across another planet, and it's Earth. Dum, 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 and then we get some more Silver Surfer, or actually the Blue Surfer booty right there. So, like I said earlier, if you know the origin story to the Silver Surfer, there's no reason to pick up this book. I think it's like I said, you could just look at the perfect squares and rectangles from these panels, and you could see that it's completely like uninspired. There's no outside of the cover there. There's, I don't know, like zero dynamic cool poses for the Surfer and any of this stuff. And I don't know. It's just, this is a hard pass unless you're a really big Surfer fan. But for me, kind of the fair weather, I don't know, Surfer fans, I don't know. I kind of regret paying $4.99 for this because it's an annual, which usually annuals are going to have more pages in them than a typical comic are going to have. But when you get stuff like this, you know, it's hard to justify the extra price. So yeah, save your money for something cool. Like I said, Silver Surfer Annual #1, hard pass for me. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Bye.